Welcome to Red Eye. Today I'm joined by the CEO of Hexatronic, Henrik Larsson, Lyon. Welcome.
Thank you very much.
Could you give us a brief summary about the first quarter?
Yeah, I would say a quarter with a strong operating cash flow, 270 million SEK, so really good, I would say, and primarily driven by we continue to take down our inventories. Good growth or strong growth in the two focus areas, harsh environment and data center. So in the quarter, they are close to 30% of total revenue, so that's good. And then if we look at fiber solutions, which is the biggest area, the 70%, then there we continue to have quite a soft market as we saw in Q4. And I would say it's in more or less all markets that we operate.
Okay, so let's dig a bit deeper into harsh environment and data centers. Could you tell us what are the drivers for the strong organic growth in those areas?
Yeah, and I can start by saying if we look at harsh environment, I think we have growth of close to 300%, and that is driven by acquisitions. We acquired Fibron Cables and Rochester Cables last year, so it's very much acquisition-driven growth. But they perform strongly, and it's a strong market we are operating in, and we expect that market to continue to be strong for several years. And it's primarily driven by investments in energy, so renewable, but also oil and gas. And you also have defense-related projects with the turbulence in the world. So that's strong drivers for harsh environment currently. When you look at data center, where we also had a strong growth, and that's primarily organic, I would say the main driver today is AI. Where you read every day about it in the papers, the capacity that they need to invest in order to support the AI development. And that's also a trend that we believe is a market trend that is strong, will be strong for several years.
Interesting. So let's move on to the areas that are not so bright currently. Fiber solutions. You have three large markets, the US, the UK and Germany. Could you tell us a bit about the different markets? Are there any differences, and which market do you expect to rebound near term or fastest?
I mean, we expect first, if I talk about the fiber solutions market in general, so we expect the coming quarters to be quite a soft market, to continue to be softer. And the primarily reasons are, I would say, the high interest rates that came and also sustain. There is some cost inflation that made it more expensive to build networks. And I would say also that we didn't suffer that much from it, but we see more or less all competitors talk about it, the big inventory build up in the market last year. So I think that affects more or less all markets we operate in. If I come back to the three growth markets we have there, I believe the US market will be the one that rebounds more quickly. It's a huge market with low penetration of fiber. There is a lot of money going into that market, primarily private from the current operators, but also private equity that invest in fiber network owners. On top of that, you have this BEAD program, the $42.5 billion that will be used to bring fiber to the rural areas where they have no or very poor connection. And I would say one of the reasons why we see it's a little bit slower recovery is that the BEAD program, it has taken longer time than I think everyone expected for those projects, for the states to be fully approved and roll out that program. So today, and Louisiana is the only state. Actually, I saw this morning that yesterday 3 more states were approved. And we see that all other states have reached the final step. So they are waiting for the final approval. And what happens with the final approval is that then they get their federal money. So Louisiana, as an example, they got close to $1.4 billion to start to build fiber in rural areas. So it will be, the cherry on the cake, and but primarily in 2025, I would say. So probably a lesser effect in 2024. Then if we talk about UK and Germany, I think we will see a rebound there also. They have even lower penetrations. I think the last figures we have seen is that Germany have a penetration of 10% when it comes to fiber to the home. And I mean, that will increase. UK is up to 17% now. And I believe we will see that come back also gradually, probably during the year, but also in 2025. And the main driver is, I mean, for me, fiber connection will be as important as having electricity to your home. We become so dependent on strong connectivity. So for me, it's no doubt this will happen.
I see. And lastly, I want to talk about your guidance. I mean, in the last quarter, you expected an improvement in the fiber solutions market for the second half of this year. Now you are talking about the end of this year. Is that a slight decrease in the outlook, so to speak?
Yeah, I would say so. I mean, it's correct what you said. We said in the Q4 report that we expected the market to gradually recover in the second half, and now we say the later part. And it's due to the reasons I mentioned before. For instance, with BEAD. BEAD is not everything, but it's big in the US. But also, I would say interest rates. I mean, if you look when we released our Q4 report, the discussion was, for instance, in the US, how many times will the Fed be able to decrease the interest rates? Today is much more uncertain. Now they more talk about, will there be any decrease this year? So I think the interest rates coming down probably takes a little bit longer time than everyone expected a quarter ago.
Seems reasonable. Thank you very much, Henrik.
Thank you.